The #1 player has claimed their throne yet again at Smashcon, winning almost every major that they enter. Akola is dominant in this game. We're going to be watching 2 of his sets from his tournament-winning run. The Grand Finals versus Dabuz, and also the Winners Quarterfinals versus Riddles. I don't really want to watch the Neo set because I feel like people don't like Steve enough to watch a 5-game set of a Steve analysis, so I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to keep it to 3-0s, okay? I'm doing this for you. So first we're going to start off with Riddles. Again, this matchup kind of is rough, and I don't think Acola has lost to Riddles ever. And they've played 5-7 times, something like that. It's just really hard for the FGC characters to approach, and then the block being there meant that that up tilt combo is going to work. Even though Acola has mined so much, he does need tools immediately. That's one of the advantages of axe stages. Like, one of the things you have to think about when you're playing against this character, lol, is if you dislike pickaxe or axe more, you want to go to that stage that kind of breaks them, right? What a down air. Like, if you have a problem more with up tilt and up air in the juggle game against Steve, then you might want to go to Smashville and Town. But if you have more trouble with like jab fair loops, getting spiked, back airs in general, you might want to go to the like PS2 and stuff. And of course, Kazi is so explosive that just because you're losing, it doesn't mean you're actually losing. I remember seeing, he's 0 deaths in this game, I remember hearing the crowd go like, "Wah!" But also, casuals love Kazuya. Have I watched the Neo set? I watched it live. I don't know if I'm gonna analyze it on stream though. Okay, oh, it doesn't get it there. There's up air, up air. So like, this might have been stock if Akola, like, he doesn't even do the optimal combos. Because I think if you do full hop up air into another up air here, you might be able to place a block and then do up air into PBR back air. I'm not 100% sure. It might have been too high percent for that to work. Ooh, but Riddles does get the uppy, and then this next stock just doesn't exist for Akola. He gets grabbed in the corner in like 3 seconds and dies. Oh, sorry, he gets nared. He's dead. He was dead! Good character. Bam moment. I'm glad someone knew the reference. Low-key, I have a harder time dealing with gold than the other ones. Like, diamond is clearly better, but I don't know how to deal with the gold pressure besides wait until everything breaks. Ooh, nice jab extension. I like that a lot. Like, you know, like, diamond is good. Diamond's clearly the best one. I don't know what to do versus gold, though. Yeah, a little too close. You gotta, if you're gonna break these blocks, you have to do it kind of from far away. Riddles went like right up to it. It literally, if he did his back tilt from where he was standing, which was here, I don't think this would have punished him, but he walked up like right next to it, and Akola was ready because he's done it like 5 times. Akola is so fast at recognizing the situations that people use to try to like get around stuff, because like obviously there is some counterplay to Steve stuff, but like then the counterplay has counterplay, and I feel like Akola is so quick to the counterplay of the counterplay, getting rid of TNT so he has the stronger walls really quickly. Like, he's not actually using this TNT to hit. If it hits, cool, but he's just using it to get rid of dirt, because you also don't mind dirt on this stage. Oh, misses the turnaround. Too much percent, so the down throw does not combo. You know when the down throw for Kazuya stops comboing when it puts into tumble. Ooh, hand up tilt up smash is going to work forever. Not a lot of materials right now for Akola. Yeah, but is going to be slightly more passive, and Riddles not overshooting. Also, how can you overshoot off stage? So almost has diamond already. I didn't even notice. Yeah. Getting a little impatient. You like when Steve is making these type of fortresses or just like all these random things, you just have to be like, fuck it, I'm not doing anything. Ooh, good. The block? Oh, it actually got the kill. Wow. Good. I love that SDI down and away by Riddles, I think. Yeah, down and away. Really good SDI to get out of that. There are combos you can do, but it definitely that's a smart combo to do. Ooh, optimal. Falling in air. No, he messed it up. That was supposed to be death, I think. I think this goes, these crouch jabs into runoff, nair into the zap punch with the while rising. Again, Akola just building blocks to kind of adjust his descent, and Riddles has been swinging on those descents every single time. Like, he's not waiting. Minecart. Like, I don't think Kazuya really has a good ability to overshoot against Steve, so I don't blame him for not. Oh, that needed to be a kill. XD. Akola just wanting materials. These downers have like a 80% hit rate. Like, Riddles is just not playing patient enough. That, like, you have to in this matchup. But if you're not playing patient, this is going to happen. And Akola recognizing that and is just going to town. What the fuck? That was like the most random technical thing he's ever done. He does a TNT place into a jump nil. He didn't even mean to nil. You can tell because he immediately mashes B when there's no reason to. Yeah, Akola trying to adapt to this down on way SDI, but I think because Terry's different than Kazuya, the situation, like where it sends, is going to be a little different. Stone tools will probably kill around now. Again, you're not really trying to do anything with those TNTs. You're just trying to get rid of dirt. Terry not being fast enough. This sucks. Because of the video I've talked about where Terry can't drop through platforms, there's actually no way for him to get this punish. That sucks. Because he's slower through the platforms. If you missed that video, again, you can go up above and watch that video. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, Terry can't drop through platforms, so it's going to be so slow to get a punish. That is so unfortunate. Ooh, reads the air dodge. Beautiful by Akola. Again, he's just so ready for, like, so many things. Like, he can kind of play his game and, like, his flowchart, and then just recognize, like, as he's doing it, what people are doing against it. And he's not really worried about if a flowchart's going to hit. It's, hey, what are you doing against this? If it did hit, cool, I know you're not really doing anything against it. And then is able to just make micro adjustments so quickly. Good 36. But again... Oh, he died! Steve's down air is crazy. It crossed up. Obviously, Riddles was holding in, which would be to the right, which means that on the anvil, he just DI'd completely wrong. Terry died at 60-something. This motherfucker looks at the camera. He looks at the camera. He's like, bro. He's like, I want to play some Luke. I'm gonna play Street Fighter 6. You just have to be so aware of so many situations against Steve, and Akola knows that. Like, he's aware, like, how much mental energy it takes to deal with the stuff that he's doing, and just doesn't care. He's like, yeah, of course it's hard. It's Steve. I'm gonna just utilize that. Like, look at that. That was dominant. Like, yeah, did Riddles mess up? Obviously. This is not, I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, Akola was ready for every situation. Like, Riddles is also messing up, but welcome to top level play. We don't always do things perfectly. That was the first set. The second set is going to be the final set of the event in Akola versus Dabuz. They played in winners finals. It was a very close 3-1. Let's see what happens this time. Dabuz is obviously much more solid in neutral because he's aware that, like, getting hit is death, right? Like, not literally death, but getting hit is bad. And Akola kind of, like, being patient in those situations where the Nair's coming out and, like, Dabuz is doing side Bs and stuff. It's very interesting. In this matchup, you kind of have to be, like, ready to mine, but also you don't want Luma to just live a long time, so you kind of want to kill Luma and then use the time where Luma's gone because Rosa's obviously not going to approach. That's your mining time. And again, like, the reason that Akola does these blocks, right? He does this, like, block minecart. The reason he's doing it is specifically just to be like, hey, for when I come back, there's, like, confusion here. There's not, like, simple counterplay afterwards. And I think that's really, really important to understand, is just like, hey, I'm just gonna make things harder for you later. It's not necessarily about this thing hitting right now. It's about the future. And that is so, so important. Luma's dead as fuck. About to get a second diamond, so yeah, he crafts that one. Absolutely okay. Trying to kill Luma, but doesn't get the out hit of the forward air. Yeah. Dabuz trying to recall the Luma, and again, Akola knows that, like, hey, Luma's not a threat here, right? It's like, hey, Luma's not a threat here because you're in shield, let me just pressure you. Also, I like how Luma randomly gets bigger, because Luma, like, goes from big to small. It's just like, look at how big, boosh. Like, why does Luma grow? It's a sign of death. Like, normal Luma, boosh. I'm not going to pretend like I know how to play this matchup better than Dabuz does, and I think doing that is kind of presumptuous. Because also, if you're only going for back airs, you will get minecarded like that, because your back airs, you're not going to do Rising back air because it's super unsafe, whereas Rising Nair is still pretty good for Rosa. And again, Akola suddenly has like an 80% lead, right? Because he's just getting chip damage. Dabuz has not been ready for these minecarts, though. Ready for the neutral get up. Kind of just trying to, again, create confusion. No iron right now. Gets the neutral get up, though. Not really able to mine because no pickaxe right now. And doesn't really want to make one either because it'll cost the whole diamond. Oh, suddenly back in the fray! Lol. Ooh, parried the backer, but the bus still got that grab. Like, again, even in these situations, like, Akola's so ready for the situation to be like, hey, I can't just, like, do a Steve thing. I mean, he has no iron right now, so it's like, I can't minecart, I'm gonna play honestly. And then he's still, like, getting parries on, like, Rosa aerials. Like, I'm bad at that, and I don't play a character that is doing a different thing all the time. No! He got hit by the thing. I forgot about this. It's so funny. I mentioned this to a couple of people at Smashcon. This, like, block setup, right, with the 3 high block and the back throw forward smash thing, like, you'll see Steves go for it in, like, lower level play, and then they do the obvious grab, and then you think of them like, ugh, of course you're going to go for a grab. That is so obvious. This is such a powerful setup. You're a fool, and it doesn't work, right? And they stop going for it for a little bit, and then you get to, like, super top level, and, like, they just do it because there's a billion other things you're worrying about, and you're just like, no, I'm an idiot. I knew better. It's so funny. Like, I think that's so funny, that, like, how that kind of circles around. Nice punish of the up tilt. Again, the advantage of FD for Steve is the fact that you mine with shovel, so you actually have full offensive use of all of your normal tools, because shovel's the only thing that breaks when you mine, which is so good. Was ready for the back air into grab setup, just knew the spacing was wrong, avoided it. And again, putting up these just like random blocks to just kind of avoid Luma stuff, which in my opinion is really smart. Luma's dead from that minecart. Suddenly like a 40% lead for Akola, and also he already has diamond. Like, this is like worst case scenario. This is like 2 margarines on the go. It's a nightmare scenario. I think maybe 7 people got that joke. If you got that joke, please let me know in the comments. While you're down there, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. You think FD is Steve's best stage? I disagree. Him having additional ceilings with the platforms is really, really helpful. Ooh, the Luma shot actually hit out the minecart, even with gold. Oh, going really deep for that edge guard, but again, Acola not getting hit. Parry up tilt, gonna be such a strong option. Like, Acola is just playing so solid, and like, the thing is, it's such an interesting little aspect of Steve, right? Because like, when you're playing as Steve, you can obviously do the normal Steve stuff of like minecart, up tilt, rolls, up tilt, blah, blah, like, you know, like the Jake style, right? And sometimes when people deal with that, a lot of Steves will stop doing it, right? They're like, oh, like, you're getting around all of it, I'm gonna stop. Whereas I feel like Acola does like a great amount of, even if someone can deal with all this stuff, he still does it occasionally to be like, hey, you still have to be ready for it all of the time. And it just keeps your mental stack as the opponent incredibly high and incredibly difficult to deal with, because he'll just do the simple stuff. He doesn't have to do all of this high level stuff, but he is still doing that a lot. But if he's doing constantly really good things and then also just Steve things, it's really hard to keep that balanced. And it's why all these top players will get hit by 17 minecarts. Like, they're not ready for it. They wouldn't get hit by these minecarts against any other Steve, right? It's just Acola has enough of the really, really good things and then does the Steve stuff to the point where, like, you never know when he's gonna do it, and you have to be ready, and if you're not ready, you're just gonna get blown up. And even if you are ready, he's like jumping off the minecarts kind of early. He's jumping off the downers kind of early. Like, he doesn't make it easy, you know? Or it's like, that's the advantage of Steve, right? Like, his general game plan is so hard to deal with. That was so much time, Jesus Christ. gets Diamond. He will be able to kill Rosa hella easily right now, and also is just, you know, re-upping his shovel. The one thing FD does grant is the ability, because it's shovel, you don't have to necessarily get Diamond right away, whereas you kind of want to on every other stage. Like, immediately, you're like, I need Diamond right now. Dabuz getting, ooh, only a dash attack. Does Steve have any bad moves? No. You know, there's one. Sword Nair is not that great. Ooh, back airing the dash attack. Dabuz went low and went too horizontal. That is not how you recover against that. So smart from Akola. Going for this down throw dash attack to specifically just kill Luma, because if you went for a normal combo, either Luma would have interrupted it or ruined it entirely. And double blocks, and then down smash. And then goes through the block correctly that time. You have to do it with, like, the verticality. But again, they're still Steve ledge trapping you, so it doesn't matter. Like, Akola's literally waiting here. He's like, okay, well, down smash. Are you ready to deal with it? And the answer was yes, and he's like, okay, well, I'm still ledge trapping you. Good luck. Having essentially no bad moves is wild. Most characters don't. Like, most top tiers don't have bad moves. Like, Pika's worst move is forward tilt. Like, specifically, it's this situation, right? I'm talking about when he does this minecart, I talked about it earlier. He puts the block for the minecart into, like, just create confusion, because the correct thing to do against a minecart is roll through it, right? And Dabuz puts himself immediately next to the block, and if Akola's ready, he just hits him here. Or, like, if someone's not ready, they just kind of get hit, and it's so hard to deal with it. It is so smart from Akola to do that. To add another layer to, like, hey, this is how you're supposed to deal with this thing. Actually, I lied. Like, I lied, it was actually hot. Like, he's so smart for doing this. Mythra side B is trash. That move's good as fuck. It's also literally a recovery move. It's just put on a character with an otherwise shit recovery. The final game of Smashcon came down to Town and City. And again, now Akola, instead of doing minecart stuff, is just actually attacking. Because again, that's the other level to the adaptation. It's like, hey, you're ready for me to do the Steve stuff. What if I just come and hit you? Because Steve's moves are crazy. And like, there was no Luma, obviously. So like, the level of defense Dabuz could show was significantly lower. Slide off. The PBR, yup. Not safe enough. Again, because he's been paying attention. Like, how many times has that situation happened? And he's just been ready. He's been like, delaying this the entire time. Does it do the turnaround landing, or does he just turn around afterwards? Because it auto-cancels. That's fucked up. That's so good. For some reason, I never noticed that. Like, I guess that's why my upper thing works. The only scoop hitbox of this up smash is in front of him, right? So when you are auto-canceling a move, or you're doing nothing, or you're like out of non-tumble hit stun, you can actually turn around essentially during your landing lag. And that's exactly what it does here, as he's auto-canceling this back air. This is every character, this is not just Steve. This is every character. So he lands here, gets this turnaround, and that is a frame-perfect shield, but because he tapped back one more time, you get the turnaround, which means you get the up tilt scoop hitbox, even though he was literally, sorry, the up smash scoop hitbox, even though he was facing the other way. That was incredibly smart, knowing that he would be able to turn around and get that punish, because otherwise it would have absolutely missed. He gets the stage, edge cancel with the up B. He's back to mining. Psych. And yeah, this is just dominance right now. He does the minecart to make Dabuz do something defensive, but Dabuz doesn't take enough space. Like, he doesn't give up enough space, so he's able to just back air him. That's crazy. I need to do that more then. If it works out of auto cancel, I need to like forward air people and then turn around shield, so that way I can back air out of shield. Yeah, gets the up tilt, so much damage. It's so funny when people are like, oh, his up tilt gives him 50%. It's just like, that's not the problem with up tilt. Like, when people complain about that part, that's not the issue. That's an issue, though. Again, are there ways to recover there? Yeah. Is it really annoying that against a character and a player that is so terrifying that you have to then be super patient in this random one situation when you're already patient on stage, but then you got hit by minecart anyway? It's annoying. I don't want to downplay how annoying it is. But yeah, Akola just played so well overall, and then the horns blared, and you see people, I think, just like cover their ears when the horn blares. It is so loud. Like, it was ridiculously loud. And Akola just played so well overall. He's so happy. Like, dude, this kid's great. He's so good. I mean, again, with the comparison of him getting first and Sparkle getting 49th, like, I completely understand why he got first in the Luma rankings, and this is a very strong start for him. This is the biggest tournament of the year that he got first at, and not even first, didn't, like, but lost a set. First, didn't drop a sweat. Not even a set, not a sweat. There was one sweat. There was a single sweat against Neo, and that was it. Akola played so well overall. Like, it's so impressive how he's able to weave in so many different things into his gameplay, because again, you don't really see a lot of other Steves doing that. Onan did last year, but like a lot of people got better versus Zero Suit. Or sorry, not Zero Suit. A lot of people got better versus Steve, and Akola still, even with like, in the region where there's so much experience of Steve in Japan, and there's so many players that are constantly pushing like levels and levels of counterplay and are constantly playing, and there's a billion tournaments all the time, he's just winning. Like, he's just winning all the time. It's so crazy. It's so crazy, so good. Ridiculous. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. See you next time. Peace. He's so good, but please enable him to win at least one tournament in the secondary. I need you to win one tournament ever. Shut the fuck up. Like, listen, I want Steve banned too. I think Steve is a bannable character. Shut the fuck up. He's legal. Shut the fuck up.